Alright everyone, I'm back from my lunch break, so it's time to get a piece of the action. The Federation starship USS Enterprise has moved to Sigma Iotia 2, for the space vessel Horizon has been reported missing 100 years earlier. The ship receives contact from Bela Omix on the ocean, who promises information about the Horizon and invites the crew to come to the planet. First Officer Spock notes that their interference in the planet's development could endanger the Prime Directive, but Captain James T. Kirk contends that the Horizon's arrival a century ago, predating the directive, would have already contaminated the culture. Kirk, Spock, and Chief Medical Officer Dr. McCoy transport to the planet. They find themselves in a city fashioned after the 1920s period of the United States, and most of the residents appear to be gangsters carrying Tommy guns. The landing party is escorted by Omix's men to his offices, during which they observe a drive-by shooting that kills one of their escorts. The other continues on as if nothing had happened. They arrive at Omix's office, where Omix orders his men to make a retaliatory attack against their rival gang led by Jojo Krakow. Spock discovers an earthquake, Chicago mobs of the 20s, and determines it was left by the crew of the Horizon. Omix explains they have modeled Ocean Society off the book, which Kirk compares to the cargo cults of Earth's 20th century. Omix demands the Enterprise crew supply his gang with phasers, and when Kirk refuses, threatens to kill them if Kirk cannot deliver these. The landing party is held in captivity, while Omix uses a communicator to iterate the deal to Chief Engineer Scott. Kirk is able to trick their guards by horning in on their poker game and teaching them how to play a fictitious game, Fizbin, which allows him to distract the guards long enough for Spock to overpower them. Spock and McCoy flee to a radio tower to contact the Enterprise and transport back to the ship, while Kirk is captured by Krakow's men. Krakow demands phasers of Kirk as well, though offers him a third of the action in exchange. Kirk attempts to offer a peaceful solution, but Krakow refuses and confines him, threatening to kill him later if he does not relent on the deal. Omix contacts the ship and informs them of Kirk's capture, and offers to help rescue Kirk if they would come help. Spock and McCoy return to the planet, but are quickly captured by Oxymix. Okay, I was pretty that was Oxymix. However, Kirk has managed to engineer his own escape and arrives in Oxymix's office in time to rescue Spock and McCoy. The three set a plan in motion. Dressing in period garb, they return to Krakow's office and gain entrance. Quickly subduing Krakow's men, Kirk informs Krakow that the Federation is taking over the entire planet, but if Krakow helps to maintain order and be a willing puppet of the Federation, they will give him a piece of the action. Krakow agrees, but for safekeeping, Kirk transports him to the Enterprise. The three then repeat the same offer to Oxymix, and Oxymix quickly accepts. As they prepare for the meeting of the mob bosses, Krakow is transported back to the planet. The boss sees the opportunity to place Kirk as the top man and has his men attack Oxymix's headquarters, but the Enterprise uses a low-power phaser to stun the men as they approach. Both Oxymix and Krakow realize that they are at Kirk's mercy and agree to work for the Federation. Kirk assaults Oxymix as the top boss, with Krakow as his lieutenant, and states that the Federation ship will come by once here for their piece of the action. The three return to the ship and prepare to leave orbit. Kirk states that the Federation will take the cut. They will use the funds to help reorganize the oceans into a more civil society. McCoy reveals they left his communicator on the planet. Kirk notes that the oceans are skilled in analyzing and recreating technology, and maybe sooner rather than later that they will want their piece of the action from the Federation. Well, I'm not sure about that. Well, anyway, let's get some production notes about this story. This episode plays out very much like a sitcom due to its direction by James Comack, an experienced comedy producer. Comack was involved in later productions such as Chico and the Man and Welcome Back, Kotter. Unorthodox by sci-fi standards, a piece of the action is the only other TOS episode, besides the Triple Triples, to be intentionally funny. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but it's okay. So, I give a piece of the action 2 warp cores out of 5. Well, join me a little bit later as we learn about the immunity syndrome. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.